Well, hello and good evening, everybody, on this Tuesday. I'm Chris Allen, and this is your 270 weather for the 270 area code and beyond. For this December 9th, a Tuesday, hope your day was a good one. I think uh, I think it turned out to be a pretty good day once we got rid of those clouds from this morning. Those finally moved away about noontime and pushed off to the east, and things started to look pretty good after that, which is nice to see. It was nice just to get some sunshine in here because it's it felt like it's been so long since we've had any sunshine, and it was just wonderful to get some, and hopefully, as warm as it was today, maybe you were able to get out in it and take advantage of that, even though it was breezy, even though it was a little bit breezy today, but still not a bad day at all. Here's a look at the numbers from the Bowling Green Airport. 49. We almost hit 50. I was predicting close to 50, so we just about made it. 2 degrees colder. Let's just say 2 degrees shy of the normal of 51. Colder sounds like it was really colder than the temperature. It wasn't. 2 degrees. That's not. That's shy. 2 degrees shy of normal. But we did start cold this morning. 25 was the low temperature. No precipitation of any kind at the Bowling Green Airport. We have had a great day. That sun and those southerly winds made it a beautiful day. And you can have a beautiful day too when you're sitting in your heated apartment, home, business, because R&R Controls came out and took a look at your system and said, this is what you need. And then they fix you up when you hit that thermostat and everything works as it should. That's what R&R Controls does. They've been doing it for over 40 years, based out of Brownsville, but they serve not just the 270, but beyond. They've got homes, businesses, corporations, manufacturing. Yeah, big plants that they do heating, cooling, ventilation, automation. Well, you see the list right there. Commercial HVAC services, custom preventative maintenance programs. That's probably the most important one. HVAC installation, new and renovations, doesn't matter. Commercial controls, programming, and maintenance. In other words, you can put your entire HVAC system, or they can put your HVAC system on a computer where you can see how everything is running, top to bottom, for efficiency. And it will automatically tell you when you need maintenance. How's that? It works. I've seen it work. And it's pretty cool to use that technology to make sure that you're staying comfortable, whether it's in the heat of the summer or the cold of the winter. R&R Controls, hit them up. rnrhvac.com, excuse me, is their website. You can tell the parades from over the weekend is getting to my sinuses. Let me try that again, rnrhvac.com, or call the number at the top of the graphic, 270 777 2024. Very simple and easy number, 270 777 2024. With R&R Controls, you will never be without heating, cooling, ventilation, and Generac generators. Yes, they have those, and they're ready to go for this coming winter, which should be a little more active. Now, the big deal that I'm going to talk about tonight is, yes, it's going to get cold again, but it's not going to get extremely cold. We talked about this last night. that at the beginning of the week, or actually over the weekend, the models were kind of skewing in a direction that was going to push some major league cold air in here. Not record breaking, not unprecedented, certainly not extreme, but it was going to be, I guess, what you would call just downright cold this coming weekend. Well, it appears now it is not going to be quite that cold. It is going to get cold, but it's not going to get so cold that everybody is, raving about it. Now, of course, social media is still all over it. And as predicted, they're now focused on Christmas. And Christmas, something big is going to come for Christmas. Something huge, maybe a big snow or ridiculously cold temperatures or something. Then I'm seeing others talk about how warm it's going to get after this little cold spell happens this weekend. Then it's going to really warm up and you're going to think it's summertime again. I mean, it's just all over the place. And then they'll put in little letters, not a forecast. Well, then why put it up there and make a big deal about it? Come on. Let's make a deal about what's important, like the here and now. Here's a look at satellite. 44 degrees in Bowling Green here at 6:15 on your Tuesday evening, December the 9th. We've had that sunshine all day, but now we're seeing clouds. There's a little break here from Owensboro, Davis County, down through Calhoun, McLean County, Madisonville, Hopkins County, and some thinner clouds back to the north and west. But there is a frontal boundary that is going to make its way through the area this evening. And when it comes by, it may even produce a little bit of light rain for tomorrow morning. And yes, it would be rain. Now, if you're seeing these this little outline here, this little thick green outline, well, that's a special weather statement to talk about the winds. The winds are going to be breezy all night tonight. So you may hear something knock around, but it's not going to be a big deal. Strong low pressure system moving across the lower Great Lakes is going to bring gusty winds to the area tonight and for tomorrow, Wednesday. You'll have some wind gusts of 30 to 40 miles per hour. After midnight, isolated gusts in excess of 40 miles per hour possible, with any rain showers that develop late tonight into early Wednesday morning. And it says here, common sense would tell you to be sure to secure any loose outdoor decorations that you may have put up for Christmas. Those big things that do this, that's got the air. What do you call those things? I've seen some that look like Santa and some look like elves. In around Halloween, they've got the ghosts that look like this, and they got the little fan motor running at the bottom. Some of you spend like $200 or $300 on those things. I'm like, knock yourself out, but I ain't doing it. So anyway, any secure or loose outdoor decorations or trampolines or trash cans, hammocks. Would you have a hammock out right now? No? Okay. But anyway, you get the idea. Just secure those things because when the winds pick up a little bit more tonight, it's possible that something could get blown around. Just letting you know, because it is possible. Now, how much rain are we going to get tonight? It's not going to be much. We're talking about maybe a tenth of an inch or less. And it's going to be mainly tomorrow morning as this system comes on through. So the clouds that we're getting right now is out ahead of the cold front, which will come through overnight. But I don't foresee it being, that big of a deal as it comes on through. All right, let's go to the Kentucky Mesonet and we'll check current conditions and conditions from today. Here's a look at current temperatures right now as of 6:19, and everybody's in the 40s. Nice 40s. The maximum high temperature for the day topped out 47, 48 here for Warren County. Most everybody mid 40s, some upper 40s. Is there a 50 in here somewhere? No, not around here. So we didn't hit 50 at any of these Kentucky Mesonet locations, but we got close. How about precipitation? Nothing. Nothing today. It was a beautiful day. Here are the winds currently from the south at 5 to 10 with a gust of 15 or higher. And these gusty south winds will continue overnight, as I just read to you. That special weather statement saying some winds could be closer to 30 or even up to 40 miles per hour, especially early tomorrow morning. So there's no severe weather. There's not going to be severe weather. This is just a bit of wind that is going to come through overnight and during the day tomorrow. And we can see the winds. Now, so if you went to school, elementary, junior high, middle school, high school, even college, you were told that you cannot see the wind. You can only see the effects of the wind, right? Well, you can see the wind on this map. It's right here with what we call the isobars. That's equal lines of barometric pressure, the barometer. And where these lines are tightly packed, like you see right here, that is going to be, that's representative of not only equal lines of pressure, but gusty winds. And they're coming in from the southwest. That's what those lines mean, if you ever wondered. Isobars. We also have isotherms, but that's a whole nother thing I'll talk about some other time. But isobars are connected to the air pressure, your barometer reading. And when they get tightly packed like that, it's because of a pressure difference between a low and a high. And it just so happens we have a low over the Great Lakes and the high pressure that was over us today. In fact, let me show you. Zoom out here. See all this? Here's high pressure, and there's the low pressure. There's a couple of them actually over the Great Lakes. Here's another one of those clipper systems. This is the one that is going to come in tonight, or actually early tomorrow morning, and put down a little stripe of light rain, and it will all be rain. It is not going to get cold enough tonight to be anything else other than a chilly rain. That's it. But you can see now how those lines, those isobars, are tightly packed together. Big pressure differences here. That is why it's windy, or going to be windy. So here comes our clipper system. And you can see it taking shape here over the Great Lakes. This is midnight, and here comes the rain. And here we go. Zoom back in over Bowling Green, Southern Kentucky. Little bit of light rain. The nearest place that's going to have any kind of frozen precipitation mixed in is going to be way up here in central Ohio. That's it. For us, it's just going to be rain. And notice here, you can even pick out the cold front, not just because it's been drawn on the map, but because there's a little bend in those isobars, those equal lines of pressure. That is a little what we call short wave trough. It's almost a long wave. I mean, it's kind of short, but I mean, it's pretty extensive. It comes from that low over the Great Lakes, and stretches down. So this will be the first bit of that light rain that comes in 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, right as you're getting up, getting ready for work or school. Now, by midday, the first front will come through. The secondary front will start to fall apart. And that's, again, because of the energy that is surrounding the low pressure system as it moves away from the Great Lakes and goes into southern Canada. But it too is kind of a clipper system. And behind it, cold enough air drawn in from Canada to change all of this into parts of Michigan and maybe northern Illinois, Indiana, Ohio into some snow. But that snow will not make it down here. So the front will come on through tomorrow. By now, this snow is this time tomorrow night, with it still just warm enough to where the changeover may happen to some light snow flurries, probably nothing more than flurries, for the northern sections of Kentucky and parts of the eastern higher elevations. And even there could be this mix because temperatures are going to be, kind of not cold enough for all of it to be snow, but just cold enough to get something mixing in. But most of this precipitation, as with most clipper systems, is very short-lived. Well, it just reset on me. Let me change that. Short-lived, doesn't last long. See there, this is 6 p.m. tomorrow night. Now here's 6 a.m. Thursday, and you can see it's all gone out of here. Here comes another warm front, but behind it is another cold front. The never-ending parade of clipper systems. So Thursday is going to be a quiet day until we get into Thursday evening. Now, this is moisture lifted north of the warm front. It doesn't really get much warmer until you're underneath or south of the warm front. We're going to be kind of on the border. There's enough upper energy to touch off some snow showers and maybe even some light accumulation of snow. But this would be places like Louisville, Frankfort, Lexington, Ashland. I'll zoom in here. Let's see. Maybe Danville to Lebanon, Springfield, maybe over toward Hodgenville, maybe even Munfordville. Now, of course, when you get this high resolution, you can see it gets really blocky. This is what we call the synoptic data. This is a synoptic surface map. And all that means is this is the map showing the best areas set up for this kind of precipitation. Is everybody going to see this? No. But in the blue, the area is most likely Thursday night to get maybe a dusting. But once you get up toward, say, Interstate 64, which goes through southern Indiana, Evansville, Louisville, Frankfort, Lexington, and over to Ashland, right along the 64, there could be maybe an inch or two of snow and higher amounts to the north of that, up towards Cincinnati. This is Thursday night. Here's Friday morning. Here's Bowling Green. We're again on that boundary. How many times have you heard me say, where we sit, we're on the fence, and I've made this hand gesture. If you've watched me enough lately, you've seen me do this 100 times. And right there is a perfect picture of that. This is why we can't get a big snow. So if anybody is telling you or showing you where there's going to be this big hellacious snow over Kentucky and hellacious numbers as far as cold, extreme cold, They're just wrong. We're always sitting right here. It's just a little too warm for it to be a big snow. Not really cold enough. There's a little mixy stuff. It's a nothing burger for us. Now, once you get up into northern Kentucky, even there on Friday, it's going to change from snow to a mix because it's going to get warmer, at least temporarily. But the coldest air still has yet to move in. That's going to take place on Saturday as the front finally moves out. That last front moves out. Here we go into Sunday with some snow and mixy stuff in the Virginias and far eastern Kentucky. Look at the wind coming in from the north and east. That means cold. Here's 6 a.m. Monday. Now, this is a little interesting. This is something that kind of popped up just this afternoon. And in the long range models, of course, this would be long range because we're talking about Monday, and here it is only Tuesday. So this is almost a week from today. So we do not have any of the finer details. The high resolution modeling doesn't happen until we get into Saturday, Sunday. But high pressure to the east, establishing a foundation of cold air, and we have enough moisture leftovers from these systems that keep on moving through the Great Lakes. Some of this is lake effect snow, but some of it is just being generated by these clipper systems that come in. And there could be a little something. Maybe Monday. Let's go one step further into oh, well, now where did the snow go? Boo-hoo. Wait, that's not supposed to happen. Why did it change to rain? Why didn't it stay snow? There I am making that hand gesture again. And I can almost feel it. Somebody's making a particular hand gesture back to me, but it doesn't take the whole hand, the hand gesture you're giving me. It's telling me I'm number one. I know what hand gesture that is, and I will not do that hand gesture here. Oh, anyway, let's go to the European model because it has been very reliable lately in telling the story of what's to come. So here we are right now. Notice how warm it gets, and as the warmer, there's the rain snow line, that big blue line right there, the rain snow line. North of it, it's cold. South of it, it's warm. Not really all that warm, but you can see the isobars. Look at that. Look at the wind here. This is why it's going to be so breezy tonight and tomorrow. As that low pressure system, look at how it is a rather deep low, 988 millibar. It's sort of deep, sort of strong. So yeah, it's going to crank out some wind. Then it starts to lose. It goes 988, 86, 87. Yeah, it stays fairly strong as it heads up through Lake Erie and on into Canada. And then here comes our first shot of colder air as we get into Thursday. Then we see somewhat of a retreat into Friday. And I just showed you this, but look what this is doing. This is bringing down just enough moisture to maybe put this, you saw it, a thin stripe of some snow for portions of northern, north central, and possibly eastern Kentucky as we get into Thursday night and early Friday. But notice the rain snow line retreats as an area of low pressure, and that would be that low pressure system is what's going to help aid some of that moisture, and with the cold air, yeah, there could be something, but then it goes away pretty quickly. Here we go into Friday, things dry up, and this now is when the coldest air starts to move in. As we head into Saturday and Sunday, look at the deep cold air goes all the way down into the Tennessee Valley. There's some lake effect snows up here, but for us, chilly, but it doesn't last. And a return to look at that, much warmer air. Look how far north that rain snow line goes next Tuesday. Wow. We're talking a significant warm up. So anything that falls around here is moisture, like next Wednesday would be rain. I don't know. This is almost looking like it could be some thunderstorms next Wednesday afternoon, but that's a long way off. And here comes some more rain next Friday, the 19th. How far can I go? Well, I don't like going too far because so many things change between now and then. And when you go this far out, it's a big guessing game. This can give you some, and this is why we call it guidance, but it's not high resolution. It's low resolution, long term, long way off distance forecasting. And that's never really that accurate. But this kind of gives you some clue as to what we're looking at the Friday before Christmas. And right now, it looks really warm. But here's the thing, this only goes out that far. If we could see further back here to see what's happening or coming in off of the Pacific North Coast, the Pacific Northwest is what I meant to say. There could be a big storm that's headed this way that could change everything by Christmas, but that's still too far in the future. So let's just keep it right here for now. 51 maybe tomorrow, then 29 with that first shot of colder air as we head into tomorrow night. Then Thursday, only near 40. Then we jump right back into the 50s for Friday, followed by another shot of colder air. Friday night in the 20s. Then to 43, then 18. Here's your two coldest nights, and that has not changed. It's going to be mostly teens for overnight lows. This would be Saturday night and Sunday night. Then we do moderate, and this is the warmer air that I was showing you at the beginning and the middle of next week when we return to the 50s. And low 50s is exactly where we're supposed to be for high temperature, normal high temperature this time of the year. So it's just going to reset. The temperatures will reset. We'll hit the cold air button a couple of times in the next couple of days, and then everything resets and tries to get back to normal mostly next week. But it's still too soon to say or even guess what's going to happen for Christmas week. It's just still too far away. We're at 15 days. Yeah, 15 days. Still too far away. So I don't want to go there yet. It would just be a guessing game. It would be just speculation. And it can change 1,000 times between now and then. Here's Mike Hogan. Cold Sunday, Burr. Yes. Yes, it is. Don Nadler? Hello, Chris. Hello, Don. Let's see. Who else? Jeffrey. What's it going to do in Smith? Grove. You know I don't do cities. Come on. And I've been told that I'm really missing an opportunity by doing what's it going to do in my town? What's it going to do in my county? And you know how long I would be here? I do have to go to bed soon to get up at 3 a.m. tomorrow morning. The reason I call one of the reasons why I called this 270 weather is if you live in the 270 area code, this is your weather. And whatever town you live in, whatever county you live in the 270, I cover you. So here is Chris D7244. People don't seem to remember that Kentucky can be anything and everything at any time. You got a point. It is that way. You know, the old saying, and every town has this saying, well, if you don't like the weather here, give it 5 minutes and it'll change. Yeah, it's, but there's a lot of towns that have adapted that. And it's pretty much true. Okay, that's it. That's all I have for you tonight. Just understand that it's going to be breezy overnight tonight. You may hear something knock around. You may hear a tree limb hit your roof or window. Not to worry. It's nothing serious. It's just blowing around. 30 to 40 mile per hour wind, certainly possible. So, and a little bit of rain. In the morning, I'll be live 6 a.m. on News 40 Sunrise with the latest. News 40 at 9 and News 40 at noon. In the meantime, thank you for watching. God bless you and have a great night.